Something came up that I do want to say too is the spirit realm that we exist in this game is not like occult experiences from most fantasy games, where it's like if you're exercising some authority over some demon or some other thing like that, you're not conjuring up a spirit. These spirits, they are not subject to you. You do not control or command them. They, if ever it seems like that, they're lulling you, or drawing you in, letting you feel that way to achieve their own purpose. And
Yep,
so,
for sure.
no person's going to bind this spirit to do this or that. As far as what I mean is like a cult through a cult means. Now, the way we play out in the game is like, let's say some human maybe trying to, in the authority of Christ, bind or command an evil spirit. They may have that authority, or we may, as the holy angels, be the acting out of that in the spiritual. So we may be the source of the enforcement of that, so to speak.
Yep.
And that's kind of fun to play out. But no human ever, through their own authority or through their own rituals or this or that, through something, incantation or whatever, actually exercises any authority over any of the spirits, good or evil.
Why wouldn't angels constantly whisper advice to humans they are protecting? How much guidance is too much, if any? Can I have my players manifest and talk to them directly?
So the manifest and talk to them directly, I'll kind of hit those backwards. That we kind of covered. It's like sometimes, generally, you're not going to be manifest in your full glory as yourself. That's going to be less common than ever manifesting. And a neat little thing, side note about that, is when you're manifested, the condition I said in your full glory, your glory is concealed. You can conceal your glory, and in that case, the enemy doesn't recognize you unless they get close enough or have a special ability to be able to detect you. They don't recognize you as a spirit either. Or if they perceive like, hey, he's walking a little too fast to be a human, or whatever. There's a lot of little fun incognito in disguise missions or undercover missions you can do, plot lines. That's a fun change too for the game. As far as how many times can you try, or how much is there, just why aren't you constantly whispering?
Yep.
It's interesting because I have a system that's similar to what I've heard MCDM with Matt Colville talking about in his. Mine is called objectives. He uses something, or he's testing something called patience and interest, because if you're trying to get somebody, he says, switch sides. Like, let's say you're trying to get this necromancer not to stay out of this battle that you're going to fight, then you might want to appeal to something of his interest and try and get him to stay out. But how long are you holding his interest as these interactions go on? And at what point does he lose interest and all that? But or his patience gets worn out. And so I don't have a system like that, but I do have a system in the sense of there are social interactions that you make. And that's the avenue you go to influence others, whether other spirits or humans. But with that, I have a system called objectives, and generally the host, generally privately to themselves, will determine when you're trying to influence somebody to do one thing or another. You will they'll determine how big of an objective, how many points that you can accumulate, how many points they'll need to achieve that objective, and they'll figure out, given the situation, how many attempts they might get, because you only have this window of time, or that kind of thing. So the objective system helps with that if you're using that level of play. As well, also the host can just generally say, look, the overload, you're just spamming. Here's what I'd do as a host. You're just spamming them with these thoughts, and they've kind of shut off and desensitized to it because they're overloaded at the point. They're not going to. And so, again, at what point are you making the game not fun as a player? So I think that some people can say, well, you shouldn't stifle the players. And I'm like, yes, but we're cooperating to make a fun story. And so I'm the host. I'm trying to provide the plot. You're players in that story, and you're a participant just the same as I am. And so there should be some degree of understanding and cooperation that we're in this together, trying to trying to make this story interesting and fun. And so if you're trying to abuse that as a player, you're not just making it hard on the host, you're also making it hard on the rest of the players, in my opinion.
Mhm.
Now, if that's the table and that's what all the players want, then I, as the host, need to be a little more flexible and account for that. But, that's my thought. Anyway, my 2 cents.
Yeah, there's no like hard rule against it.